Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I saw this article that is currently doing the rounds now from the Daily Mail, and unfortunately, I couldn't read the full article because they put it behind a paywall. But it's of detransitioner Prisha Mosley, who recently had a baby, and she decided to transition because she thought she was a boy at the age of 17. And here's what the headline reads. It goes, I transitioned to become a boy at 17. I believed I'd never want children or change my mind. Then I had a shattering revelation, and now I'm suing the medical professionals who encouraged me. And, well, get this, ladies and gentlemen. I believe God was gracious to Prisha, and she ended up having her own baby, her own child. And it's crazy to me that we're not only sterilizing or castrating the next generation of young kids so they can't end up having their own children, which I think is just barbaric and evil in all its forms. But they're affirming it. And these doctors, these medical professionals that said that they will do no harm, they don't want, you know, they've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do the right thing. They've chosen to not do the right thing, to not do what is not only just medically necessary and accurate into helping a child that may be a little bit confused. And it's interesting to me because when a child comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm a little bit confused about what biological sex or what gender I am," and the parents just go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew when you were a baby. So whatever you say, Timmy, whatever you say, Sarah, like we're going to go with what you think, what you believe." And then the doctors will go, "Yeah, let the child decide because the child is apparently the adult." Like, what adult in their right mind goes, "Yeah, the child knows exactly what he or she is doing. So let's allow them free reign." Like, goodness me, if you're going to have that attitude, let them roam free in society. See how that happens. Like, we're seeing a lot of youth crime here in Queensland because kids are running amok with no adult supervision, no discipline, nothing of the sort. So, what do you think is going to happen if you've got social media on one hand that is transitioning these young kids online, confusing them, and then you've got these other doctors that are going, "Yeah, we'll believe exactly what you say as a kid." As a kid, you cannot consent as a kid. You've got no idea. Like, what doctor, again, in their right mind, because no doctor in their right mind does this, but what doctor in their right mind says, um, I believe everything you're saying. And so as a result, I'm going to prescribe you puberty blockers because I don't want you to be in any kind of pain whatsoever. I'm going to give you cross-sex hormones. I'm going to uh, castrate you from a a drugs standpoint. There goes the Hippocratic Oath, all because of money, all because of an ideology, all because you don't know a thing at all. Like, it should be common sense, right? But it's not. So, detransitioner, Prisha Mosley's horrifying warnings for girls who want to identify as male. So, Prisha transitioned to become a boy at 17 years old. I believe that I'd never want children or change my mind. You don't know when you're 17 what you really want at all. Like, you're taking a stab in the dark almost, trying to figure things out and doing something that is pretty much, or not pretty much, it actually is irreversible damage. Abigail Shrier, right? A great deal of damage has been done. So to think that you won't change your mind at 17 years old, goodness me, like that's a fallacy, if you ask me. Then I had a shattering revelation, and now I'm suing the medical professionals who encouraged me. Prisha Mosley has transgender regret at the age of 26 years old. She has a 6-month-year-old son. She cannot breastfeed him due to a double mastectomy she had at just 18 years old. There are consequences to our choices, and this is one of them. Can only imagine how Prisha must feel not being able to do what a mother's responsibility and a mother's job is to do, and that is to breastfeed her own child. The young mother has been left with serious health issues from the medical interventions used to treat her gender confusion. Yeah, sure. Like you're 17 years old or even 18 years old. So we're going to cut off your healthy breasts. If you want to do it, so be it. A healthy body part, like Chloe Cole, age of 15, double mastectomy as well. Crazy. Prisha endured severe nausea throughout her pregnancy because she was desperately low on natural female hormones as a result of years on puberty blockers and cross sex hormones. Other complications from the chemical castration drug regime included her baby being too big while her uterus was too small. Her hips did not properly develop, making it very painful as her baby grew. What Prisha endured because of what she chose to do, which again, she was, even though the doctors were going, yeah, you chose to do this, it's your fault. No, she couldn't consent to it. How can a child consent to any of this stuff? How can it really be their choice? That's why she's suing them, because it wasn't her choice, really. Incontinence is a common problem with the drugs, and pregnancy amplified the issue. Prisha also suffers from insulin resistance, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and has an oversized neck and shoulder muscles that her small female skeletal frame is not designed to carry. Prisha describes the heartache of not having breast to feed her baby. It's not just that, right? Like the amount of pain Prisha had to endure in order to give birth or even have her son. The son that she gave birth to is literally a miracle. Like he shouldn't be born. Everything was going against Prisha, man. But it's amazing that she has a son now. But the heartache knowing that she can't breastfeed him is just crazy. He looks for milk and it's not there, she sighs. My chest is numb and covered in scars and lumps, so it's not soft and pillowy like it should be for a baby. I produced milk that was trapped in my chest and with no way to reach my nipples because they had been severed, reshaped, and reattached to my chest in the wrong spot so it could look like a boy's chest. It was the worst pain I've ever had in my life, she shudders. I can feel him against my neck, shoulders, and stomach, but it's like there's a big hole where my chest should be because there's no sensation there. Other consequences that females on these harmful drugs experience include vaginal, pelvic, and bladder atrophy, which is basically a thinning of the walls, making them more fragile and painful. Prisha and other girls who go on to puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones also suffer from a deeper voice, often resulting in pain if they try to sing or speak in higher octaves. It is one of the irreversible side effects, along with male pattern baldness. Prisha and other girls are victims of a deceptive ideology that lies to them and says their problems will be gone if they just change sex. I was under the misconception that it was possible to change my sex, and I thought I would never want children or change my mind about living as a man, she says. But I grew up and realized that I had made a terrible mistake. The thing is, I don't think you're really capable of making this kind of decision until at least your frontal lobe is fully developed. Like at least give it to that point. But everyone's going, no, when you're 18, you're an adult, so you can make decisions. No, I still don't think you can. Many gender incongruent girls are looking to identify out of being female due to underlying issues like being on the spectrum, eating disorders, or trauma. I thought a lot of the trauma I experienced didn't happen to boys and they were stronger and tougher and had easier lives. Well, yes, that's a misconception, isn't it? In a vulnerable state, she says she was targeted by trans activists who entered a pro anorexia internet chat room that she belonged to. I was told by these activists that my misery was because my body was fighting to be a boy. I was a child and I believed it. I thought my body's just not horrible. It's entirely wrong. All my problems are because I'm really a boy. I wasn't well. I was unstable. I'd been seeing therapists for years for my mental health struggles. And suddenly, because one day I changed from saying I hated myself and I was fat to saying I thought I was a boy, all my symptoms were put in a single category of gender dysphoria. Parental rights and responsibilities are also threatened as trans activists in the health and education systems paint them as transphobic or bigoted if they want to save their children from such irreversible harm. They're painted as abusers because they don't want their child to undergo this extreme medicalization. I'm in a contract. I'm in contact today with my parents who have taken their kids to hospital because they are cutting themselves, or the kid says they are transgender and they're being removed by child protection services, and the parents haven't seen them since. And the story goes on and on and on. So many people are like this. It's sad, it's tragic, it's unconscionable, it's disgusting, it's evil, and it needs to stop. And I'm glad Trump is going to be in power very soon because he's going to put a stop to these kinds of stories. It's not right. It's awful. Anyway, keep praying for Prisha. It's a brave woman. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.